Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Red Zone Live right here on Facebook. It is I, your girl, your musical concierge, Natalie Red. And oh my God, I got a treat for you. That is right. I have not only is he a musician, an artist, but he is a producer. Do you understand me? He has worked with the likes of Teddy Riley. He has worked with jazz aficionado Nate Smith, and also in doing so, worked on a great project with the late Michael Jackson. And we're going to get into all of that along with his project, along with the things that he is aspiring to do in building his brand. Not only that, for those of you who are new to the industry, he is going to share a tad bit of advice. Yeah, because trust me, producers have this thing when it comes to vocalists, because some vocalists get there and they get in the studio and they get behind the mic and they think they know everything. Yeah, no, it drives producers crazy. Ask me how I know. Me and my producer, we go at it, but that's okay. He loves me, and that's the way we do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Red Zone, the one and only Mr. Terence Thompson. Hey,
Hey,
Terrence.
hey, Nally, thank you for having me. I appreciate all the love and the great intro. You take
Oh,
time.
thank you. Thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Now, before we get into the nitty gritty and all that good stuff that comes along with it, I want you to tell people who you are in your words. You, the producer, the man, Terrence Thompson.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Well, first and foremost, I'm a husband. I am a father. A brother. I have, a son. I'm just, you know, I try to be just a down to earth person. I separate the music from, my life. And this is the other thing I'll say is that I'm just a person who enjoys creating music, and music isn't me. It's not like it dictates or drives my life. It's just a small part of my life. My life is so full that even without music, it would still be full. You know,
Wow.
yeah, so it's just so that kind of also kind of speaks to the whole title of the album itself. That it's not something that I've done. I haven't done it full time in a long time, and I'm thankful for that. But I just try to be the best person that I can. Separating the music from everything. At the end of the day, I don't want to be remembered by or for the music. I just want to be remembered by the people that I touched and came in close proximity to, and they could say, you know what, he was a good guy. He was solid. He tried to do his best. That's
Yeah.
it.
Oh, well, good depiction of yourself.
That's why I aspired at least anyway.
Well, you know what though? To aspire to do and to achieve, those who achieve what they aspire to do, to me, those are people who are successful. Success is truly defined by um, the individual.
Right.
And a lot of people, they get into this industry game, and I've said this, and I'm pretty sure you've said it to several people as well. They get in this game, and the first thing they think is, okay, I'm going in the studio, I'm going to rock this out, I'm going to upload it to iTunes and Spotify, and get it, and boom, I made it.
Yeah.
No. And
Yeah.
then they get disappointed when, yeah, that's not how it works. I was looking at an interview yesterday. I do believe it was yesterday. It was an interview with St. James. And one thing he said, and it just made me laugh. He said, if you don't invest in who you are, then how can you expect someone to invest in what you offer?
Absolutely.
People, it really and truly takes the energy and the drive, the determination, the want, the willingness. And that's the That's so sad. People aren't willing to do the work. What is wrong with this generation? You know, it gives me a headache thinking about it. I'm sorry. It just it gives me a headache thinking about it. So let's get on. Let's get on into it because I'm talking. I could talk about how this generation is driving me crazy, and I swear, oh my goodness, that this generation, I swear they have this thing called entitlement. I don't know where it come from. I get it, wanting to be entrepreneurs. I get it. We all want to be that entrepreneur. Yes, we do. But yeah, you got to put in the work to even do that. It's not going to fall in your lap. We are all not Bill Gates. And guess what? Even Bill Gates had to put in the work.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, and
Uh,
not even just having, financial resources, but it's also, like you said, the sweat equity. I mean, understanding your craft, understanding your vertical, understanding business. Like, where do you fit in a very oversaturated market?
ooh,
Whatever you do,
ooh.
you have to find that space. So it's business. I mean, and the music business is just that. It's business, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, people they get taken advantage of, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so obvious why, because people want to make it. Everyone wants to make it and be famous, and they want to do something great, but the chances of people making it and becoming that next overnight thing is few and far in between. But you have to do whatever it is you do. You have to do it because you love to do it. For me, I will write music and do that whether I'm putting out records or whatever I'm doing. That's in my DNA. Is who I am. On my downtime, I'm making music. So you
You do
know
it in your sleep, don't you?
absolutely. It's just what I love to do. And I don't do it for the money, obviously. But it is great that when you do see some financial, reward from it.
How many times does your wife say, "Baby, you're playing the keys in your sleep? Please stop. Please stop."
The great thing about my wife is that she is like team go get them. Like, our bedroom is on the third floor, the studio's on the first floor, and I'll go down and I mean, when I have sessions, she's bringing down the Cuban coffee, or she's bringing down the protein shakes, or she's putting the food out. It's you know so that's why I think when a lot of times people say, maybe try to understand, like, how can I produce so much? I mean, my output is so high is because my support system is
Mm,
so solid, and I have great balance in my life. So thank God, praise God, financially, I'm in a good place.
mm-hmm.
And I have great support. So I don't have those the distractions that let's say, quote unquote, a as they used to say, starving artist or struggling musician would have, because I'm in a different place, so to make different decisions for myself. But no, I mean, it's a beautiful thing when you have that person that's connected to you, and they understand that she understands, like, if I have music in my head, I can't go to sleep. So
Mm.
it's 2 in the morning. She'll be like, "Okay, I'll just see you when you get back."
I'll see you when you come back.
Right, right, right. So she gets that part.
Oh, well, shout out to Miss Thompson, because Mrs. Thompson, let me tell you, I'm speaking on behalf of all artists, all musicians, all producers out there, speaking on behalf of them. It truly takes a strong person to be in a creative person's life. So shout out to you. And yeah, if you know somebody who can support old Nat Nat, bring them on my way. I can handle that. Just make sure
Awesome.
they're not crazy, because I can't handle that. I can't handle that. So, let me ask you this. A lot of people, they start out in music far as choirs, bands, you know, whatever their upbringing was. Have you always had an interest in music? Like, what was that particular wow factor that made you say, "This is it for me. This is part of what I want."
I always loved music, always loved it. I mean, I can just remember being a kid, I mean, it just at my earliest years, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, just always loving music, But my journey, or my maturation process came through. I was the neighborhood DJ, I was the
Mhm.
neighbor. I was with the cool kids back in middle school, in high school. We were throwing parties. I had my my rap group, so I was the DJ for the rap group, and that stuck with me, through high school. I cut my first record in high school, my first actual record, and put it out, and but that was all rap, and over time, I was sampling records like everyone else was doing, at that time. And I just started dabbling around with, keyboard and say, you know what, let me do something different with my stuff. And I basically wanted to kind of get rid of or eliminate using samples in my production. So I started to, really, learn, a little bit, about music and how to really make music from that aspect. So that's how it really became what it became. And I when I was younger, I played sports, I played football, and basically that was my first passion. But music superseded football, and
Mm.
I just poured everything that I had into it, and it's always been a part of me, for as long as I can remember. It's always been there. But over the years, I took time to develop certain aspects of me as a producer, and you will always hear me describe myself first and foremost as a producer songwriter, not as a artist musician. Like my team, those guys are musicians,
Mm-hmm.
John Cos, Michael Hudson, Anthony Silva, Thaddeus Cradle. Those are musicians. These
Mm-hmm.
guys are hardcore. They gig, and this is what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a musician by, I can play, I can write it out, I can put it together, but more importantly, I can take it from being a demo to it being a record. Like that's, or I can write the lyrics for you, or I can make it into something. So that's really, I think, my strongest quality as it relates to that process.
Mm. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, see, you've answered my next three questions all in that one. So let's journey back. Let's talk about your experience with the likes of Teddy Riley and Mr. Jackson. Like, how did you get? Because, dude, I'm sorry that puts you in a whole different plateau. Like that puts you in a different atmosphere with that. So how did that come about? Like, did you do one of those little fan moves where you stand there and go, "Ah!" you know?
Well, actually, it didn't, because unfortunately for me, you know, all of that it was so bittersweet in so many regards.
Mhm.
So I'll break it up into sections, and I'll be as briefly as as I can. So
Okay.
so my early interaction with Teddy Riley came about years ago through Damian Hall, who was one of the members in Guy,
Yeah.
Aaron Hall's younger brother.
Yeah.
So Damian went to HBCU, Virginia State, who was really good friends with a good friend of mine. So that's how I became, actually became acquainted with Damien. And then when Damien became a member of Guy, we were sending Damien our demos and everything. And, Damien was going to quote unquote do everything he could to get us a record deal and help us get on. And, things didn't play out. There was an issue with the track that I did that somebody basically lifted the track from me,
Mm.
yeah, so and that was cool. It was cool, no big deal. And then some years go by, and there was a rapper in Richmond, a female rapper in Richmond, Virginia, that I had produced, and she met a guy in a music store, and the guy heard her demo, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm blown away by it." So he took it down and played it for Teddy. This is when Teddy was in Virginia Beach, Future.
Mhm.
So I'm at the house and I get a call like, "Hey, may I speak to Terrance?" And I'm like, "This is Terrance." "Yeah, this is Ted." I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Ted?" And he said, "Yeah, I heard, the project you did. I'd love for you to come down, work with me on some Black Street remixes and some other stuff, this, that, and the third." So the first thing I said to him was like, "Hey, you remember me, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm the kid that you took that track from, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, because listen, I'm just straight. I mean, that's how I am. I'm straight to the point. I have nothing to lose, but I'm
Yeah.
just going to be straight to the point." And he said, yeah, I remember it. And I kind of laughed about it. So I went down, started working with them, and went down. I mean, I went down with the arsenal of music. Like, I mean, I probably had like 40 tracks. And
Wow.
yeah, he ended up, it was either Teddy or I believe, I'm not sure if it was Sylvia Rome, but somebody ended up picking like 3 or 4 of my tracks for Monifa's home CD. I mean, like
Mm,
right out of the gate. So they pull those tracks. And I had a production company back then called the Affiliates, which it was 4 producers, myself, and I handled primarily all the business.
mm-hmm.
So Nate Smith, who is like phenomenal, like I'm a huge Nate Smith fan, dope producer, dope drummer. Nate had tracks, so we all ended up selling tracks to the Monifa project. So it was great. And so we're building and we're working with Ted, and he's just sharing some things. All in all, this is what I'll say: things didn't go the way I would have hoped they would have gone with
Okay.
Ted. But I admire that guy so much. You know what I mean? Like I can't say a bad thing about him. I really
Mm-hmm.
can't. Because I had so much admiration, and he validated me. Like this is the
That's a
guy.
beautiful thing. Yeah.
Right, right. I mean, like this is the guy who had a track record like no other, and for him to say, "Hey, he's talking to me like I'm Rodney Jerkins or Pharrell and Neptunes,"
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "Hey, dude, I'm going back to work at Capital One when I leave here. You know that, right?" But it was just so much love that it was humbling, and I always take that away from it. So let me fast forward.
Okay.
So we used to have what we would call music day or production day for our production company. And Nate Smith came in one day and he played this track. And as soon as the track came on, I was like, man, that really sounds like something Michael Jackson was singing to.
Okay.
We were all kind of just laughing and like looking around like, yeah, 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 but not really knowing, unbeknownst to us, that a guy who was an original hitman for Bad Boy, a guy named by the name of Andrea Hurd, he signed me to his production company.
Okay.
So I actually took the track to the studio, blew it out in Richmond, laid it. It was great. We sent it to Andrea. Andrea was going to shop it to, I believe, he was going to shop it to another artist. And I told the story a couple of times, but I'm trying to be very careful when I say
Yep.
people's names
Yep.
now.
Yep. Just
So
just
yeah, so he took it to that artist. That artist, I believe, ran over budget or had no
oh,
money.
snap.
And, yeah, and then it went to another famous producer's brother. It went to him, and he was just wrapping up his album. So anyway, Andrea pitched it to Teddy, and Teddy was right in the middle of working on the Invincible CD. He heard it, loved it, and then he asked the $1 million question: where did the track come from? and, and rumor has it is that when they told him, "Hey, it came from Terence's camp," his reaction wasn't as pleasant. But unfortunately, the business is as such that guys that I broke bread with, I mean, like guys that I put money in their hand when there
Mm,
was no money,
mm.
I mean, beyond what I had to do for them or give them, they flaked.
Oh wow.
So it wasn't me who had the ooh, I'm struck, starstruck moment. It was people around me, and so that's what really caused it. So it is bittersweet for me because people lied about what happened with the record, and essentially I had to put an injunction on the record to get
Oh
my
dang.
royalties. And honestly, yeah, that's what it took. So because it was just I mean, it was personal, and people, but one thing about me is I'm very, very business savvy. My
Mm-hmm.
mom told me a long time ago, have something to fall back on. So, I went to college, and I went to, did graduate work and contract management and all of that stuff. And it really helped me. And then being in corporate America also helped me a lot too, So I was able, to thankfully, here's the crazy thing about it. I actually video recorded the session the night we tracked the music.
Oh,
And that
snap.
was the deciding factor, I think, in the whole, because that's what my attorney sent to Sony Records. The attorney basically said my client is the person, he actually owned the copyrights. He
Mm,
paid for the session, he tracked it. So it's just one of those things that it's bittersweet. And honestly, I should have a platinum plaque hanging on my wall now. But
mm,
the way it happens with when they issue the plaques, they don't reissue them or whatever, anything like that, which is fine. But my name is forever attached to
to that.
Michael Jackson's name. You can look it up, and
Yep.
you see my name there. I got my royalties. I get my royalties from it. And it is what it is. And it's unfortunate that it had to be that way, because I lost friends as a result of that.
Yeah. Well, that's in this business that happens a lot. Speaking of that, shout out to Jerome Pitts of Pitts Campaign. Jerome is also a producer, so shout out to Jerome. Shout out to
To
Miss
roll.
Thompson. I see you. What's up, y'all? So, let's get into a little bit of your music now. And you produced all of the music on your project, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I wrote and produced every track that's come out under my name. Wrote and produced all of it, lyrics, music, everything. And now we're gonna have another wave of music that's gonna start to come out. That a gentleman who's also in the camp, Anthony Silva. I mean, this phenomenal guitarist. This brother, like, he just sent me like probably 50 tracks within
Mm.
like a 2 or 3 week span. So a lot of work to do there, to produce the full tracks. But yeah, but on my project, everything that's been put out, and it's probably maybe close to like 27 songs now that were all written, produced by me.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, look, if you like music like I do, and Lord knows I love music, you need to really check out what this man has to offer, like musically, production wise, all of it. And my favorite, sorry, my favorite, Back in Love.
Oh yeah, wow! Thank you.
That is my jam
Okay,
right
you want to hear a funny story, right? This is
there.
this is hilarious, I think.
Okay.
So one day, me and my wife, we were coming back from DC. I don't know where we were coming from. I don't know where we are coming from. But anyway, we're coming back from DC, right? I put the Back in Love demo in, right? And I'm singing. I actually sang the song like it was my song.
Mhm.
So the song is playing, and my wife was like, "Oh, baby, this is nice. I love it, right? I love it. I love it. And you're gonna do this. You're gonna have to do this." So Ty Silva is Anthony Silva's daughter. I
Mhm.
already knew what she could do with the song, so I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do this song, because this young lady is, she's gonna really take it to a place that I could never even imagine. But so the song, I wrote it, and it was me, but then I ended up, letting her do it, and I look forward to working with her more. But yeah, that's the song that it's about that crazy couple. It's always
Mm.
breaking up, but getting back together.
They back in love.
Back in love.
Everybody around them go, oh man,
Yep, yep,
them again.
yep. So there's no comment when they ask
No,
about, no comment.
no comment. How
Yep.
long this gonna last?
Yeah.
Everybody taking out bets. Everybody taking out bets. I'm sorry. All right. So now check this out. Getting back into the production side of it. I have a lot of friends who are producers.
Mhm.
Jero is one of them. My brother, Wayne, Patrick Brown. Oh my God. Then there's Kurt. He I have a lot of friends who are producers. And they all say this thing. They are tired of the road. They're ready to just focus on production. They don't mind the road every now and then,
Yes.
but their main focus is production. Is that your views as well? Is that where you are
You,
as
you
well?
know, yeah, for me, because I got into the music industry so young, and I got some really big exposure early on, the behind the scenes. I mean, the music business is all smoke and mirrors.
Mm,
I mean, it's really not what people think it is, I mean,
mhm.
and once you've gotten exposed to that, and you age a little bit, you get a little wisdom, and you understand, hey, there are certain things, certain spirits, and certain energy types that I would prefer not to be around.
Oh,
Um, so for me, I didn't do I focused primarily the majority of my years in the studio. So
Okay.
now, you know, what kind of the life of what's happening with my project now in the music, I would consider going out, you know, and gigging for a short period. But my production output is so high that I'm afraid that it would affect, you know, that aspect of what I'm doing. I don't want to break my flow right now. So short answer is I'm not pressed to go out and that's why I really just want to write and produce, you know, period.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. When my friends were telling me this, I was kind of looking at them like, for real though, but we be having fun. Like, we be really into this.
But
Why you gonna do this to
not
me?
for producers though. I mean, you know, for producers, I mean, I'm speaking for me, and you know, we're kindred souls. You know, we have. I mean, musicians are musicians. You know, musicians
Mhm.
are musicians. They can come to the studio, do their thing, they go home. We're left holding. You know what I mean? We have to deliver. So the
Mhm.
weight of it is on us, and for us, I mean, we understand like, you know, we have to be in a certain place, you know, I mean, you can't be exhausted mentally and produce what you really want to produce from a creative standpoint. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like
Yeah.
you have to be well relaxed and you just have to be in a good headspace. For me, at least for me creatively, I have to be in a good headspace. And if I'm stressed, I mean, no, and then frequency. To me, the whole thing of it is volume. You know, like you know, there are tracks that I've done that I'll never release. You know, and there's tracks, you know, and vice versa. But it's just that repetition and that volume and having that body of work and just going through your mechanics of what you do. You know, frequently.
Yeah, but I get you though, because like I said, after having talks with them and stuff, especially like my brother, I'll say, "Hey, I got something for you. I want you to hear this," and I'll sing it out, send it to him, and it might be a few days later he'll get back, but he'll say, "Baby girl, I had to wind down because
Right.
so much I couldn't get into that, and my head is not there." So I get it. I trust me. I get it. I get it. I get it. Now, what is your pet peeve when it comes to working with um vocalist
Oh man.
artists?
Yes.
What is
Listen.
your studio pet peeve? Because every producer has it.
This is my pet peeve. Do not come to the studio to perform a song and not know the lyrics. I mean, listen, if I see you reading the lyrics from your phone or from a sheet of paper, I'm done. I mean, I mean, you know, some people just have this thing that they can do it. You know what I mean? I mean, like it's just it's effortless for them to do it.
Hmm.
But the average singer, in my experience, I mean, you have to focus on every single word and syllable and, you know, the way you emote, every little thing that you do. And to have, you know, your phone or have paper rattling, you know, into the mic, you know, it's just, to me, because you haven't put the song down inside of you. And it's like being an actor or an actress. You're
Mm.
taking on a role. And you know, if you're not going to certainly be in a movie reading the script, you know, while the camera's rolling, you know.
But you will have a cheat sheet.
You will have a cheat sheet, but nowadays, I mean, we're talking songs of what? Maybe 12 to 16, 20 lines at most.
Yeah,
If that.
at most, at most,
Oh,
at
yeah.
most, at most. I use my cheat sheet, can't lie. I mean, I'll have the song in me, but sometimes as I'm singing it and I'm getting into it, I'll hear something different with it. And I'll say, wait, 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 wait. And I'll, quickly type it in.
Right,
All right,
right,
let's try this again. I got something different. And when I do it, then it'd be like, yeah, okay, that's better. I feel that twist. I like that twist.
right.
So that's kind of what it is with me, the cheat sheet. Um, I could tell you, my brother has said this so many times. His pet peeve, I do believe, would be them not putting the emotions in it.
Well, how can you? You know what I mean? If you don't, if you can't anticipate, if the next line is "Baby, I love you," and you can't anticipate that "I love you" is coming, you know, how do you convey that as opposed to just saying it? So I
Mm-hmm.
agree with him totally. Like, I mean, it goes back to what I just said. I mean, you're taking on a role. That's all it is. I mean, singing a song is assuming a role or character, and you're conveying, that sentiment at that very moment. I mean, it could be a sad song, and you don't necessarily have to be sad. You don't necessarily have to be heartbroken when you sing a heartbroken love song. But if you can connect with it,
It
then
makes a difference.
yeah, yeah,
It
um,
makes a difference.
a
Yeah.
huge
Oh yeah.
difference. You
Oh
know.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ladies and gents, I got to tell you this. I got to share this with you about my boy here, Terrence. Terrence has a very very creative mind, very creative mind, and in the short time, I feel like I've known him forever, and it's only been a matter of weeks. We would chat about music, and he'd say, "Hey sis, I got something I want you to hear," and I'm telling you, like I hear it and I instantly write to it and I flip and send it right back to him.
Yes, you
And
do.
it's like it's amazing. I say if relationships can be like a song, do you know how many bad breakups would be avoided? Seriously, come on now. A good song, in the first 5 to 10 seconds whether or not you're going to continue to listen to that song.
Absolutely.
Now imagine a relationship. If you could tell within the first 5 to 10 seconds that if you're gonna be with that person any longer, if you're gonna continue that conversation, it's different. But that's okay. I just went off on a tangent, but that is okay. It's who I am sometimes. Anti who. But music is a beautiful thing, and I love your creative mind. Now let's talk about no inhibitions.
Mhm.
Okay, so the other day, as I'm creating my show, I'm going through, and what I do is as I'm listening to music and I'm creating things, I can hear the next song coming. So I'm going through, and I said, wait a minute, that's a Terrence song, that's a Terrence song, and I'm just going through. Boom, no inhibitions. So I sat there and I closed my eyes and I concentrated on that song. I said, this damn man here. I swear, I ain't gonna ask where his mind was when he created this damn song, because it was really what I love. The beauty about that song, I'm gonna tell you what I love about the beauty in it. I tell people all the time, yes, sex sells. It really and truly does. But when you can create something and make the listener use their mind, use their imagination, that's when you have a work of art. It's like an artist it is art, but it's like portrait art, it's like canvas art. When he takes that paint and that brush and he or she makes that piece of work, that body of work come to life, you are forced, because there are no words, there is no melody, there's nothing but an image, and it could be a red dot in the middle of a white canvas, and you have to use your imagination. And I love that you make people use their imagination. That is beautiful.
I appreciate that, and it's kind of going to what you're saying. It's open interpretation. To me, it's really that's how I talk to my wife. You know what I mean? Like really, that's how I talk to her. So for me, when you're writing from the perspective of who you are, I'm not trying to hop into anyone else's skin, but that's how I would talk to her and talk slick. But if you think about it, I mean, it's obviously it's a couple, I mean, it's a couple,
Mhm.
uh, kids, it's family, but it's
Mhm.
still that couple that's they still gonna have their fun, they still gonna get it in, and they gonna keep the spark going. I mean, and you have to, and that's really what it's about. I mean, it's like, I mean, I've been waiting all day to get you alone. You know what I mean? Like, kids
Yasmin, put
are
the
calm
kids to
out.
bed. Put the kids to
Yes,
bed.
yes. We all know how the kids can just block everything, you know. So so sometimes you got to get them out the house.
Baby, don't they have to go to see grandma today?
Right, right.
Did, didn't
So,
Sally say she wanted to play with the baby? You know, uh, I get it though. I get it, but I love it. I love it. I really and truly do. And I just want to ask you before we go to share some advice that you strongly feel would resonate, educate, and cause the next Terence Thompson, the next Teddy Riley, the next artist, producer, whomever, something that's going to say, cause them to really search within themselves and get it done right. What advice would you give those that next person that's coming into this industry because they need it. They this generation really needs, I hate to say it, but to be handheld, and it sucks.
yeah, man, that's a very very I know it's a slippery slope, but it's also something that, if given opportunity, you definitely want to share that with people. I mean, for me, what I learned or what took me the longest in the industry is first is just to understand that, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It probably isn't. I mean, so that's a big part of it. I go back to the advice my mom gave me when she said, have something to fall back on. I mean, like, have something, because when you can avoid becoming desperate in
Mm,
anything you do in life,
mm,
I mean, you don't make bad decisions. You can walk away from something that you may think is a good situation when ultimately it may not be. So that's the light business part of it. The other part as it relates to the craft itself. I mean, hone your craft. You know, find your identity, find your space, and find out who you are. I'm free. To me, the day I walked away from the music industry, I was liberated. Because I mean, when I was, chasing down that thing in the music industry doesn't want new and fresh music. I mean, they want what's happening now. So
mhm,
back then, if Timbaland was popping, everybody wanted a Timbaland track. If they couldn't afford to pay for, to get Timbaland, they would find a B or C or D or whatever producer that could do something close to that. And
mhm.
that's the unfortunate part about it. It's the music industry itself. It will kill whatever sound is there at the time, and then it's just all in oversaturation. But when people subscribe or they base their careers off of fads and trends, you're dead. Because you can look at a lot of producers that should still be banging now. I mean, I'm talking, I mean,
Mhm.
and they're not. And it's really just a transition. I mean, it's really a transition, to the next level and growth and understanding. But I would just say, try to hone your craft, know your business, and do it because you love to do it. Don't do it for any other reason, you know.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, says it all. Do it because you love to do it. If you are trying to get in this industry, but nope, 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 not going to say music. I'm going to say the entertainment industry, period. If you are trying to get in that industry for sole purposes of money, I am so sorry to tell you, it ain't gonna happen that way. You will find yourself brokenhearted and disappointed, and which is the reason why it's always good to have something to fall back on. But if you are doing this because you love it, because it fulfills you, it's your passion, it's not what you do, it's who you are, then you know what? More power to you. I'm in your corner. Shout out to Al Seaforth. Al Seaforth said he just heard No Inhibitions. He's like, wow,
Thank
what
you,
a
brother.
track.
Appreciate that.
Al, telling you now, Al is another brother you want to get with there, Terrence. This he is the Barry White of the radio.
Oh, nice, nice.
Oh yeah, and he's all over the place. Al is truly syndicated, very syndicated. So yeah, that's I call him my Obi-Wan. He's my mentor. He's my mentor. So shout out to my mentor. But I want to thank you for taking your time out to just chop it up with me here in the red zone. Shout out to those watching. Shout out to Mrs. Thompson. Sweetie, I'm gonna say this again. Thank you for being a great support system to your husband. I know that it is not an easy thing. I have a lot of friends who are wives, spouses of people who are musicians, producers, singers, and they all say y'all need to start a club. That's all I got to say. You just need to start a club, because I know it's not easy. Trust and believe, but the fact that you believe in him, that you support him, shout out. Shout out. Shout out to Jamarco Management, my manager. Shout out to James, Tony Hollins. I don't know if you remember James in that interview with the urban influencer, the one that was asking 9,000 questions. I told him to
Yeah, yes,
behave.
I do. Yeah, that's my man. Yeah. And I
Shout
just want
out.
to say, I learned a lot from that interview with you guys. I appreciate that. So it was a great interview.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, I'm loving being teamed up with him because I've learned so much and I have been introduced to so many artists, like just going through the charts, because I look at the charts, all of the charts, no matter what the genre is, and I go through and I actually listen to the tracks that are on the chart. And I go, okay, okay, I can see this. Okay, okay, I can refer this to this person because this is what they play, but I understand what it is now. It's all about the empowerment of lifting and sharing and getting it out there because the terrestrial stations have it on lock.
Absolutely.
And they have it on lock because they are what the radio personalities don't know, because everything is fed through a machine to them. They just push play and go. But what the heads of the clear channel stations and all of them, they are all under this nice thing called contract. And these labels pay them nicely. So I got to say to the urban influencers, to all of the internet radio stations, all of the shows, shout out to all of you because you make it so that artists like and producers like Terence Thompson, like your St. James, like yours truly, and then some, you make it even better for us. So shout out to you all. Shout out to you, Terrence. I'm looking forward to working with you. I really am. And yes, people, I have already put that in the atmosphere. Don't even think twice. It's
Yes.
in the atmosphere. I'm looking forward to it because your mind, I love a mind that challenges me. And your mind, it makes me dive deeper into what I want to write. So thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this. Um, for those who missed out on the interview, don't worry about it. You get to hear it because it will be replayed. I will be restreaming this. I will also be playing it on as a part of the Red Zone shows next week. So look forward to it. Again, Terrence, thank you so much. And I'm actually looking forward to having you back in the Red Zone Live because I would like to do a producers forum. So you and a couple of other producers, we all just chop it up and share the knowledge because I would really love to see these artists grow. I
I would
really
love that.
would.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
Anytime.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for tuning in to the Red Zone Live right here on Facebook. I am your girl, your musical concierge, Natalie Red. Peace be unto all of you. God bless. Love you all. And we're going to say good night.